I want to talk to you about being more adventurous, and I'm going to dedicate apparently 15 seconds or a millisecond to 20 adventurous women who've inspired me throughout my life and also inspired the creation of Girls Discover. So this is Bethany Hamilton. She's a surfer who, when she was 13, had her arm bitten off by a shark, and she returned to surfing and became world champion. And we've also got people like Nikki Spinks, who broke the record, not just any record, but entire record, for running 132 miles in the Lake District. She broke the men's record by an hour and a half. I've got a quote here. So, on my 10th birthday, a bicycle and an atlas coincided as gifts, and a few days later I decided to cycle to India. But I was a cunning child, and so I kept my ambition to myself, thus avoiding the tolerant amusement of my elders. She set off 22 years later. Or Norma Jean Beloff, who when she was 19 set off cycling across the US in 1947. She ran out of money, got a job, and then broke the women's speed record from New York to San Diego. If you've seen BBC's Mountains Life at the Extreme, then you'll know that Meera won the Everest Marathon. She comes from a remote village in Nepal, left school at 12 and became world champion, and she now works with girls and boys around Nepal. Fear, to a great extent, is born of a story we tell ourselves, and so I choose to tell myself a different story to the one women are told. I decided I was safe, I was strong, I was brave. This is from Cheryl Strayed's book, Wild. In the male-dominated world of landscape photography, Faye Godwin became a real inspiration for me. She created her own narrative and created a critical view of Britain's landscapes and the politics surrounding them, and she really inspired me when I first started out as a photographer. Equally, the UK's first female mountain guide, Gwen Moffat, her phrase that comes from Operation Moffat, a documentary about her, "What would Gwen do?" Has been my inspiration for the last year. She used to climb past men barefoot in the mountains of Wales. Bend down with straddled legs till you see your world upside down. How new it has become. This is how the earth must see itself. This is from the amazing book by Nan Shepherd called The Living Mountain, about her life growing up in the Cairngorm Mountains. Growing up, I don't remember many female characters in my children's books, until I read Northern Lights, and I came across Lyra, a strong, adventurous, independent, exploring girl. What a change to the princesses and damsels in distress we are so often presented with in our lives. Or Great Britain's first ever lead climbing medal, won by Molly Thompson-Smith last month, who was 19. At 15, she became the youngest ever climber to win a senior women's lead climbing competition, and yet only 16% of climbing instructors are women. There are groups out there looking for change, such as This Girl Can and the Women's in Mountain Training Group that provide support, and I hope that my new campaign, Girls Discover, can do the same for teens, a gap that's currently not being addressed. When I was teaching, I would often show my students photos and videos from the photographer Crystal J. Wright, and I would find myself welling up. Perhaps she reminded me of a life that I wanted to live, but my actual life had got in the way. So I quit my job to explore my adventures. And in that time, I've come across some amazing young people around the UK and the world, and many adventurous, brave girls. Here they are teaching me to do a handstand, which I still can't do unaided. But it's friends and families that get us through and that encourage us and inspire us, and pursuing adventure as a family is surely one of the greatest things that we can pass on to our young people, celebrating adventure for all and showing that they're not just characteristics for boys. This is my youngest adventure buddy, Hannah. Here she is caving with her parents on her 2nd birthday. Research shows that we use more cautious language with girls than we do with boys when they're playing. Why do we do that? Let's encourage all girls and boys to be adventurous and brave. But there's a gap in my life when I didn't climb, and these women helped to get me back on track. Joining clubs opened doors, and if it wasn't for this lot, I probably wouldn't be here speaking to you. But I wouldn't be working in the outdoors at all if it wasn't for my grandma. As a child, we went on hot air balloon chases, watched foxes behind our house, hunted for Easter eggs in the woods, and went on many, many, many walks. She was still leading her watering group at 80, and she only retired from that last year. My mum, she returned from Canada in 1980, and this is us in 1992, dragging us up probably some Lake District fell. And I'd like to read you a diary extract. Today I ripped out my nail playing on my skateboard. I enjoyed it. That's from 1997. So why is this important? It's because in the media we have bombardments of images that focus on beauty when girls are growing up, and it especially hits when they're hitting puberty at age 14, and many at age 14, and at that age I don't think it's a coincidence that at 14 participation in adventurous activities among girls drops massively. The outdoors builds confidence, protects mental health and develops resilience, and I hope with Girls Discover we can empower more girls, parents and teachers to seek out adventure for everybody, for all. It's not just for boys. Thank you very much.